And what I want to do today is ask you some questions that I got from some of my clients over the past couple of weeks, because we've covered the VA, we've covered, FHA, we've covered conventional. And these are going to be some questions that you have answered in, those different videos. But a big thing that I've been getting is from our 50 plus buyer. And they just really want to know, are they too old to buy? This is like a big question that they have for me. And I just want you to cover that question. And what do you have to say to someone, not necessarily 50, but 60 and up, who's coming up on retirement and they have not accomplished that dream of home ownership? And they're asking, are we too old to even buy a house now?
Right. Well, I'll answer that very candidly in this regard. Absolutely not. They're not too old, right? Because this is the thing that we all have to remember. Regardless of our age, all the way up to the point that God calls us home, we're going to have a housing expense.
Right.
So if you're whatever age that you are, that you think that you may be too old, or you are, just in a season where you just like, hey, does this make sense for me? It's two things that you want to think about. Number one, you're going to pay a housing expense. So do you want to continue renting and throwing that money away, or do you want to, own something? And the other thing about it is, it's purchasing is also a wealth and a legacy move, right? It's a situation when, when we go home to be with the Lord, is it a situation where what are you leaving behind, right? Is it a piece of property that can be left to kids or grandkids or great grands or whatever the case may be? Because then you're affecting lives in a situation like that. So now, the one thing that I'll say is, make sure, especially if you're going into a season where you may be going into a fixed income. Let's say you're coming out of the workforce and you're going into a fixed income. Well, you just want to make sure you're getting something that's affordable, right? So if you're working and full-time working, and you may be able to have a certain income, and you may say, hey, I can afford $2,500 a month, right? But then you say, wait a minute, I know that I'm going to retire within 2 years, and I know my income may be fixed and go down a little bit. Well, you say, well, maybe I need to get something that's no more than, 1,500 a month or 1,700. Just fill in whatever the line is based off your particular situation. But the answer is no, it's never too late for you to buy. It's just making sure that you're doing it in a smart way, specific to your particular situation.
Thank you, Willie. And that's the same thing I would say. It's never too late to accomplish your dreams. And just like Willie said, you're going to be you're always going to have to pay to live somewhere, unless you decide that you want to live on the streets. And